No matter what anyone tells you, art is all about practicing, staying consistent, learning every day, and being at it every day. It's a slow path, and there are no shortcuts. Let me say that again. There are no shortcuts. But what I can share is how do I make myself do that every day? How do I make it easy for me to work hard at it? I'm sorry, I do not believe there are any hacks. There are techniques that you can learn, there are methods that you can learn, but there are no hacks. Any hacks that you do, you pay for them later on. And sorry if I'm breaking your heart here, but it is a complex field. If so many people try it and fail at it, that's enough data to tell you that it is complex. So let's give it its due respect. Let's take steps towards how we can make ourselves work harder. So the first thing we can do is have the work area easily accessible to us. Now, what does that mean? It does not mean that it should be a separate room. It does not mean it should be a separate room. It does not mean everything should be made available. For me, that meant it should be in a room where I spend most of my time. And that room is my family room because I like to be around my family. So while I'm chit-chatting and while I'm talking to everyone, I can spend some time doing art. So this also meant that I needed two areas. One for my practice sessions, which is in my family room, and one that's a dedicated studio where I can do my large artworks. For me to do it daily, I have to feel good about it. And I figured that there are only two ways I feel good about it. A, I like what I did today, and I completed what I did today. So depending on how much time I want to dedicate on a daily basis, I pick my subject. So if I just have an hour, it would be a small painting, something that's just 4x5. Which leads me to my next suggestion. Always have a stack of small watercolor paper in your drawer. And to make it even easier, also have a small set of watercolors so that you don't have to go through the elaborate task of taking the colors out of the tube. And my next suggestion is choose a subject that has an element of unknown. It could be a very small element. It could be just a new color. It could be a new small technique. It could be a subject with a twist. And that ensures that we are on a learning path. And my last tip is to complete what you start. This is a little bit harder to follow, but it's not that hard. Just expect that many times when you start a painting, you would reach a point where you just not like it. You just say, hey, this is not what I thought. This is just not turning out to be as great as I imagined it to be. Don't give up at that point. Just persevere. And the key thing is not to act in frustration. Many times when we don't like our painting, we act in frustration and we just do something that is not our best. And that's what destroys the painting for sure. So as long as you can take care of that part, I guarantee the painting will turn out to be better than what you thought. So I hope you found this useful, and I'm doing a small painting as well today. It's going to be a branch with leaves and berries. So for this simple presentation of berries and leaves, let's take a look at the colors we used. The leaves were done with, let's start with the yellow here. It was, I believe, a mixture of Naples yellow and Quinacridone gold. Naples yellow and Quinacridone gold. Two very beautiful yellow pigments. Naples yellow. I like Naples yellow because it's so dense and you know, it has its own character of yellow, very subtle and very, you know, in real sense, an understated yellow. And then Quinacridone gold, exactly the opposite. It has a mass tone and an undertone. If you look at Naples yellow, you know, there's hardly a, there is a mass tone and an undertone, but it's not as dramatic. But if you look at Quinacridone gold, it's just the opposite. It is dark brown and a beautiful golden yellow. So those two were mixed to achieve these fall-like yellow leaves. And then let's come to the darker leaves. I tried using a new green. It's called the Daniel's. Let's take a look at the darker greens. And one of them is the Serpentine Genuine. Serpentine Genuine from Daniel Smith. And we mixed it up with Shadow Green from Holbein. Shadow Green from Holbein. And then for the red berries, we had Rose Madder. Rose Madder from from Holbein, and we mixed it up with Mineral Violet from Holbein. So this is Rose Madder, excellent red, and we mixed it up with Mineral Violet. We also had a bit of Quinacridone gold mixed in there to give it a slightly orangish hue, but we were layering it on top of the yellow leaves, so we already got we got the orange hue by default. So Mineral Violet, and then we used a little bit of white gouache to give some white highlights. So that's about it. This is an excellent example of if you just have an hour or two in a day and you want to finish something really quick. So I hope you found this enjoyable, and I hope you will give this a shot.